Habari Entertainment proudly presents Habari Live. Habari Live. From Phoenix, Arizona. And you're listening to the Habari Live podcast. The show that brings you news, sports, and entertainment for people who love HabariEntertainment.com. Here are your hosts, Iesha, Jimmy, and Damon Diplean Ellison. Let's get it going. We are all the way live.
Good morning. Let's go. Another episode of Habari Live. We're about to get into the politics, the war, Epstein files, Christy Nome, and a lot more stuff that we are going to be talking about today. Just running down the week's news, the week's politics, and what's important to us. So, good morning. I'm still kind of sick in this bitch. Habari Ghani, my people. We are thrilled to bring you the latest edition of Habari Live, your go-to podcast for the Pulse of Phoenix and beyond. As always, we are all the way live in Paradise Valley in Phoenix, Arizona. I am Damon Ellison and my co-host,
Iesha.
We will be your guide through the exciting stories and everyday happenings in our vibrant community, your weekly dose of inspiration, innovation, and insightful conversations from the heart of the city. But first, why is that still there? Let's get into it. The top stories and what you got, Iesha?
Yeah, for sure. Good morning, everybody. Today's top stories, few, but they hit hard. The first one that took my attention this week was a Haitian man was detained at an immigration facility here in Arizona, has died while in U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's custody. Officials say that the man was being held as part of immigration enforcement proceedings, while advocacy groups are demanding answers, raising concerns about conditions inside detention centers and calling for an independent investigation into his death. According to the man's brother, his death stemmed from a toothache.
Yeah, man. Department of Homeland Security doesn't seem to care about people. Hello, what's up, Mary Reed? People don't seem to care about these people in custody.
What's up, Oscar?
And what's up with it, Oscar? We have a lot of people as we watch ICE and this administration buy up a lot of buildings for they can put a lot of people in jail. They're not putting in the proper nursing and doctors and medical expertise that is needed for holding all these people. They're just throwing them in these places. They've bought a lot of places here in Arizona that they're going to rent out and throw a lot of people in, and they're not making sure that these people have the right medical. I mean, it's just cruel, man. Now, every administration has deaths when they're holding people, because you never know what type of situation the people are going to, medicines they may need, or whatever may go on. So it's a lot of these things happen under Obama, and other presidents. But right now, the way the Trump administration is headed, in 2 months already, 9-10 people that's been killed. I think over the Obama's entire administration, it was 52, I think, people that passed.
Over 8 years.
Over 8 years, right. This guy had 32, I believe, last year. 9 this year. He's at over 40. He's about to destroy it. What Obama did, and Obama was to, he got a lot of people deported, and they were getting a lot of people that were coming from amnesty, that were criminals and things that in that nature. And they did some things too. People were held in these little cages that the Obama administration had created. So they wasn't perfect either. They had some things that a lot of people disagree with. So, but it doesn't seem to be at the same height or nature that the Trump administration is trying their best to build a concentration camp for immigrants
Right.
in every state. And it's disgusting, man. And this dude is caught up in it. Another person that has passed away in ICE custody. Sad, man. And we saw his family on the news talking about it, how they have to come down here and identify the body and say their goodbyes as this guy died from something that was easily fixable with a nurse or a
Very
doctor.
preventable.
Right, very preventable. And it's just ridiculous, man. I feel sorry for the family. And this is just the reason why, Kristi Noem is fired. Because it's just disgusting. You are in control of all these people's lives, and you'd rather be out taking pictures and photos and recording videos instead of doing your fucking job.
Yeah.
So disgusting stuff from ICE, and another reason why these people shouldn't be in charge. We also saw some footage coming out of ICE shooting at a man. They said the man was trying to run him. They've said this a million times. Oh, he was trying to run us over. Video comes out. Exact opposite.
The exact opposite.
Like
once again,
it's disgusting. They just keep shooting people, and then they're not paying attention, or they just don't realize that there are cameras rolling, and they come out with a story. They don't. Maybe they probably don't care, because the stories that they come up with, even when we all see the video, and they still have, oh, Alex Purdy, he was attacking the officers. Everyone sees that that's not true.
Right.
But in their heads and their little brains, they'll do whatever they have to do to make that real. And if they have to sit there and say, oh, you didn't notice it, it happened, he was trying to attack them, like, this shit is nasty. Like, we all see the video, man. And in this video, in this instance, they said the guy was trying to run over the officer, but for some reason, when the shots rang out, the person had their brakes on.
Brake lights was on. So how they trying to run?
How they trying to run over the officers with the brake lights on? That doesn't make any sense. People are going to pay for what's going on with ICE. If it's Kristi Noem or whoever it is, they're going to pay, because this administration is disgusting, and the lives that are being lost because of incompetence is just, it's ridiculous. What's the next one?
For sure. A federal judge has blocked an order by Ron DeSantis that attempted to classify a prominent Muslim civil rights organization as a terrorist group.
Wow.
The judge ruled that the move was unconstitutional, describing it as a political statement at the expense of others' constitutional rights. The decision is a major legal setback for a Florida governor and raises broader questions about the limits of executive authority when targeting advocacy groups and organizations alike.
What's the name of the group, did they say?
No, they didn't. They just said that it was a prominent Muslim.
All right, can you find it?
We'll find it.
But anyway, Ron DeSantis is one of these leaders, one of these disgusting MAGAs that's just putting a lot of disgusting things in place when it comes to Florida. Florida is leading the way. Arizona's not too far behind in dumbass shit.
It would be the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CIER, as the organization that he was trying to designate as a terrorist organization.
And, I mean, have they killed anyone? Have they? What is it that they've done that they feel as though they need to be listed as terrorists? Just being Muslim? I mean, dog, the KKK still isn't. It's listed as a terrorist organization in America. That lets you know how shitty this country is sometimes. A lot of people are like, oh man, liberals don't love America. These are the things that we don't love about America. They got Antifa listed as a terrorist organization. All the people that the KKK has terrorized over the last 100 years, and they're still not listed as a terrorist organization. But they trying to get this little Muslim group listed. Like, it's just nasty stuff, man. People are sick of it, man. It's like, damn, dude, what do we have to do in this country? Everybody loves America. Everybody wants to be a part of the place they were born in. But it's like, it's ridiculous.
It is. Very.
When you see the people and the way things are set up, when certain people are never held accountable. certain people, because you look a certain way, your group is never listed as a terroristic group, even though they have, like I said, terrorized people since the 1920s. 100 years of terroristic, uh, 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 just nasty stuff, hanging people, dragging people for the back of their cars, and that happened in 99, 2000. Like, people always, it's just brand new stuff. They don't, man, hate crimes are out the roof. Hate groups are out the roof right now. And these guys, proud boys, and all these guys, they can run up in the Congress on January 6th, do all this crazy stuff, never be called terrorists.
They got pardoned.
Right.
So why would they be labeled as a
And
terrorist?
then try to tell us that this country is, we're going to go on merit. We're going to go on merit because this country has always been fair. The fuck out of here. It's never been fair. It's always been nepotism. It's always been two separate rules. It's always been tougher. You look at the statistics on how black people and brown people get pulled over. We all get caught with drugs about the same amount. The same amount of everybody carry drugs. But who pays for it the most? Black and brown people.
Yep.
Who goes to jail for it the most? Black and brown people. Who gets the most time? Black and brown people. Somehow they're always given a pass or okay or it's cool. I've never heard of this group doing anything.
Nothing.
Never even heard of this group. And they're trying to list them as terrorists. Like, man, it's disgusting stuff, man. But this is America, and this is what we have to deal with. This is what we're fighting against. To make our country a more perfect union. Because it can't just be a union for one group and one group only. And everybody else just gets shitted on. That's not how it should be. It's supposed to be for everyone. We the people is what they said. Not we the white people only.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting, man. What else you got?
It is disgusting. Moving on. New details are emerging about questionable purchases made using Arizona's Empowerment Scholarship Account Program, or the ESA funds.
Oh,
records are showing that taxpayer-funded education dollars were used for items that critics say fall outside of educational purposes.
Really?
The revelations are fueling renewed debate over oversight and accountability in one of the nation's largest school choice programs. Now, new details did say that over 20% of the ESA purchases were listed on the unallowable list once they were audited.
This damn shit is the biggest scam ever. And we're allowed that, everybody acted a fool about public schools and what money public school has and what this and public school, that, public school. Now we're giving it the money to normal people. And look what the fuck they're doing. Like, what are we doing here, man? This is dumb. I mean, dog, and then these people buying TVs and diamond rings, going on vacation using public money.
As long as the purchase is under $2,000, the purchase is automatically approved by the department and is later audited.
Oh my goodness. Now, how dumb is that? That is past dumb. Why would you approve purchases and then have to re-audit the purchases? How stupid is that? You say no in the beginning. You audit the purchases in the beginning. And you say, no, you're not buying that.
Right.
And if it has nothing pertaining to fucking school, you're not buying it. But how the fuck are we going to police homeschools? I keep saying this shit. Like, these people could be teaching them that Scooby-Doo was the first president. Right. How the fuck do we know?
And they're saying that the audits could come months later.
Oh, man, this shit
and
is
Tom Horn is blaming understaffing as to the reason why they have this gap, why it takes months for the auditing to happen after the purchase has happened.
I can't wait till this dude is out of here, man. This dude is horrible. He sucks. He sucks, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in this shit for Tom Horn has been in the education department in Arizona for 25, 30 fucking years. Failing. All of their ideas are stupid.
Very stupid.
Because the only thing they care about is the rich people.
And it gets worse. It gets worse because state school chiefs Tom Horn's office flagged 18,000 ESA parents for misspending $10.3 million, but only 6 of them were referred for prosecution.
That schools shut down across the city and across the state. Why would we give people this money? Why would we do that? When you gave it to public schools, you could hold the superintendent and the district accountable for the money that was spent.
Right.
You could bring them into a hearing, talk to them. What are you going to do with all these people that just doing
Parents
whatever
are
they
buying
want?
banned items like pools and hot tubs and sex products.
They buying whatever they want. They're buying this with school funds.
School funds.
Money that should be going to the children to make sure that they have a good education. We're doing everything we can to take this money away. No one gives money to illegals to live here, man. Why are you lying? Why are you lying? The government doesn't give them money to live here. What they do get, the incentives for them to come here is jobs that the companies give them to come to America. And most of you people that sit here and cry about people who aren't originally migrants, that aren't originally from America, is because they're brown. Any other people, y'all don't care. Y'all had no problem with the white South Africans coming here. You celebrated that. You have no problem with your parents coming here that was Italian and Irish and Jewish. That was cool. When Biden got in office and he was letting people from Haiti come in and y'all crying about it, fuck them. That's not what America's about, man. You all don't care about the standards, the words of America. You just living by fear and scaredness and letting that shit run your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it is. But, Tom Horn said that the misspending by the ESA parents is not fraud. It's just a bunch of mistakes.
Right.
Not fraud, just mistakes.
Yeah, you see that they shut down that Charlie Kirk license plate in Arizona.
I did see that.
Now that's a good thing. I hope she shut down this highway shit too that they trying to pass. This is what the state Senate and Congress is trying to do in Arizona. We have problems with homeless. That's ridiculous. Our infrastructure is not as great as it was just 10, 15 years ago. And we're passing bills and trying to get through laws that makes Charlie Kirk on the highway. Put Charlie Kirk on our license plates. All this shit, but this is what Republicans are doing. Luckily, we have a Democratic governor who vetoes this garbage that they're doing.
They would rather have a Charlie Kirk license plate versus having a John McCain license plate or a Pat Tillman license plate.
Pat Tillman is a big part of Arizona, and he has statues and everything else. McCain should be celebrated more. But, MAGA hates McCain, and because Trump doesn't care about McCain, and he shitted on McCain, and this dude, fought and was injured, was a POW. Do I agree with everything that McCain has done through his career? No. But at the end of his career, I respected how he respected Obama, something that Trump wouldn't do and most Republicans wouldn't do because he was black. So I gave that to McCain, but because he gave that respect to Obama, they hate him.
Yep.
They hate him now. They hate McCain. And, it's crazy to see them turn their backs on everything. That was the basis of the Republican Party for 30, 40 years. So I don't understand the Republicans right now. They're at a turning point. They're gonna have to figure out what they're gonna be after this MAGA shit is over. They've lived this shit for 10 years now, and it's gonna be a time when Trump isn't there anymore. Are they gonna run to his sons? Are they gonna who they're gonna run to try to keep this hate and bullshit MAGA hateful people group? I don't even know what to call them. They're just a bunch of haters. You know, and this is what they want to lead into. Will they go on tomorrow to create a new group of haters?
They probably will.
We'll see.
We'll see. But lastly here, authorities in Florida say that an 11-year-old boy has been arrested for the second time after allegedly threatening to shoot 7 teachers. The sheriff's office says that the threats were made online and taken seriously due to the student's previous arrest. Officials say that the case highlights growing concerns about school threats and the role of parents, schools, and law enforcement in preventing
Thank you, Ralph.
violence.
Appreciate you, brother. Look, man, school violence nowadays, man, is tough. No one wants to see. Well, some people are okay with it. I don't want to see kids get hurt. And you know, to see the case this week go through, to see the parent found guilty of murder because they did buy their son or a AR-15
just months before the incident happened,
right? And these parents that their kids get access to these weapons, they're gonna have to start playing. They're gonna have to start paying, man. They should get just as much time as the kid, because you playing with something that you think is a joke and it's not. It's putting too many lives at stake nowadays. People are okay with watching people die for the freedom of them having a weapon. You know, Arizona's an open carry state, and it's always taken me a while to get used to that stupid shit, and still I'm not used to it. I'm at Circle K trying to get some gas. Some dude walking in, he got 2 guns on his side to go get gas. Like, it's so stupid. But this is the things that, you know, that these people are about. This is what they care about. They're scared. They're fearful.
Even in the grocery store,
So
they
they just walk around with guns on their sides because they're fucking scared of the people in the city. They think somebody's gonna fucking shoot their ass so they can have a shootout somewhere. I mean, this how they think. There's no other way you're thinking. If you just think I'm going to the gas station, let me get my gun, put it on my side. Like, you got to be the biggest wimp ever because you're scared of people to say anything to you, so you keep your gun showing. Just, don't mess with me. Like, you're a chump. And the laws out here is backwards and in 1850 something. But this is what they want. You know what I mean? And we have a lot of issues with guns. We have a lot of issues with the officers shooting people first and asking questions later because they know that everyone out here is armed. So when they pull up on the scene, they just start shooting, man.
Everybody, that's the first thing to do.
That's what the police do out here. They just start shooting.
Everybody is
because everybody got a gun.
Everybody's strapped.
So, you know, this is the consequences. We are one of the top states when it comes to police officers shooting. Because, you know, everybody want to have their gun. There was one guy in Ahwatukee answered the door with his gun in his hand. Shot his ass immediately. White dude.
But
white guy.
It's legal to have a gun here.
Right, exactly. But if they see one, they shoot the shit out of your ass.
Quick.
Ain't no questions asked. So it's legal.
But they gonna shoot you.
But if you have it, when they show up, you're dead. So you can play all the games you want. But if you make that decision, or he came to the door just like anybody else would. And didn't even the black person guy who was in the Air Force.
Yep.
And they called there for domestic violence. They came to the door. He had his gun in his hand. Dude immediately shot him. As soon as the police see the gun, they kill you. But, you know, it's freedom. You're supposed to have it. But in most situations, what happens when they see these weapons? How is it helping society that people are getting shot up by the cops? It doesn't. And I don't know, what do we think is going to happen in America when we have more and more and more weapons? But that's what the Republicans are pushing. They're pushing that everybody have a weapon, weapons everywhere, guns everywhere. That's the answer. I don't know, bro. It seems that it's backfiring as we see more and more kids are getting shot because of loose guns in the house. Loose guns put away because we let everyone and their mama get access to weapons. And now we're seeing kids paying the price for what their parents' ignorance.
Failure to secure the weapon. Failure to properly store it.
Right. And it's also on the government, because we do nothing to put in laws to say you have to have a lockbox for your weapon. Your weapon has to have some type of lock to make sure that it doesn't fall in the hands of kids.
Didn't they turn down the fingerprinting law they wanted
anything
to do?
For accountability for weapons is going to be turned down in America. Anything. Because we don't believe the gun should ever pay a price. The gun is it's not the gun's fault.
You can't even sue the manufacturer of
You
the
can't
guns.
do anything when it comes to weapons in this country, because because of the Second Amendment, we believe the guns can do whatever the fuck they want. And there's no accountability to the companies, to anyone. And it's dumb, but we've let the NRA run this fucking country for about 26 years, since 99. And since 99, we didn't see the most school shootings ever in the history of America. Yep. But we're gonna keep rolling. You can't tell these people anything. They will allow you to take their First Amendment rights away before their Second Amendment, because they think it's so important that everybody has guns in case the government comes and blows our ass up. Which, if that was to happen, they have missiles. We're done. It's not 1825, when we could actually fight them, because they had the same ammunition as we had. But now they got nuclear weapons. They have missiles, helicopters. We don't have any of that shit. We got a couple AR-15s and some M16s, some things like that. They'll blow our whole they got everything. Robots. They got dog robots. Man, they got way too much money invested. Excuse me. I'm trying to get over this cold finally, a little bit. But all right, man. Is that all y'all do, is talk about black people? Do y'all have anything else to talk about that's worth bringing to the conversation except talking about black people? You're experts in black culture and black life and black everything. It's so insane how racist y'all are. You live your whole lives to talk about us and what we do. Like, man, get a life, bro. Anyway, first thing we're gonna talking about, man, today, man, is America becoming a two-tier system, man? Because it seems like it. Two-tier society. Now, I want to run this video of this gentleman discussing the economics behind us becoming a two-tier system where it was just poor and the rich, and that's it. No middle class. Let's see what he got to say.
The Big Mac has a big problem. According to the CEO of McDonald's, fast food chain saw a double-digit dip in visits from lower and middle-income customers in the first quarter of 2025. The reason? Customers can't afford it. While the stock market is riding high and the Trump administration is slashing taxes for corporations and the rich, nothing is trickling down to everyday Americans.
What we see is it's really kind of a two-tier economy. If you're upper income, earning over $100,000, things are good. What we see with middle and lower income consumers is actually a different story.
This shouldn't be all that surprising. The warning signs were there for anyone paying attention.
We are on the way to becoming a two-tiered society, composed of a few winners and a larger group of Americans left behind.
I said that in 1994. McDonald's had just lost an infamous lawsuit over scalding hot coffee, and I had way more hair. Frankly, it's a little galling to hear the CEO of McDonald's complaining about income inequality, especially because companies like McDonald's are making the problem worse.
It's coming from inside the house.
McDonald's and other Fortune 500 companies like Walmart are famous for underpaying workers. As a result, many workers at these two corporations have to rely on the rest of us to finance government programs like food stamps and Medicaid to make ends meet. Meanwhile, their CEOs are paid roughly 1,000 times more than their typical employee. Big corporations have a history of union busting, further reducing the power of their workers to negotiate a living wage.
We don't think that a labor union is necessary.
All unions work at is taking a cut out of my pay.
In addition to taxpayers subsidizing corporations' low wages, there's a second way they burden the rest of us. Around 70% of the U.S. economy depends on consumer spending. As wealth concentrates in the richest 10%, the rest of America can't afford to buy enough to keep the economy running. Their buying power is dropping because of stagnant wages and inflation. The bottom 90% is already spending as much as they can, and in many cases going into debt to do so. Meanwhile, as the super rich become even richer, they can't possibly buy enough on their own to keep the economy running. We saw this trend before, during the roaring 1920s, when American wealth was concentrated at the top and everyone else had to go into debt to maintain their standard of living. When that debt bubble burst, we got the Great Depression. The so-called two-tiered economy isn't just a moral failing. It's dangerous for all of us. So what can we do about it?
The motion is adopted.
End the trickle-down hoax once and for all. Tax cuts for the wealthy make the rest of us worse off, not better. Fight for unions. Raise the minimum wage. Bust up big monopolies with the power to keep prices high. Demand corporations share their profits with workers so that when corporations do better, their workers do too. Build an economy that works for everyone, not just those at the top. Because if we don't, we're all cooked.
Inequality is an issue, man, that we seem to just want to ignore because a few people think that they're winning. A few people think that they're getting ahead, that they're doing better than the black and the brown people. So it's okay. But as your checks shrink, as your share of the pie shrinks, you will finally come to admittance that you are struggling too. People can't afford hamburger. People can't afford gas.
Why is a Big Mac $15?
People can't afford shit. You want to sit around and point the finger at black and brown and blame everybody else and talk about black culture and stupid shit. You fail for the plan. This is what they want. They want you fighting over dumb shit while they take all the money. Mm-hmm. They want us arguing over racism and dumbass stupid shit while they put billions in their pockets, while they race to become the first trillionaire.
Yep.
We should be standing together. You have people that are anti-union. When the unions have fought and died to get us 40-hour work weeks, to get us weekends, to get us pay that can help pay the fucking rent. And we got people that are against the unions. We got people that are against decent wages. They don't want these companies. McDonald's, one of the richest companies in the world. They don't pay their people shit. When you get into McDonald's and you work there, you should make a lot of money just because you're working for one of the richest countries in the world. Yep. Richest companies in the world. But no. People are struggling. It's crazy, man. But for generations, the American promise has been built on a simple, fuck those unions. Right. You're one of those idiots that live for the rich, like they're going to give you something. They're not going to give you shit. The rich aren't going to give you anything. They're taking all the money. That's what we realize what they've been doing while promising to us that it's going to trickle down. Sarah, shut the fuck up. I'm not even reading that stupid shit you just said. But for generations, the American promise had been built on a simple belief that hard work can lead to opportunity and upward mobility. But today we're asking a different question. Is the United States becoming a two-tier society? A country where prosperity increasingly belongs to only one group of Americans, while another struggles to keep pace? Over the last 4 decades, the American economy has produced massive wealth, yet the distribution of that wealth has shifted dramatically. Income inequality has widened, and these are the things that you guys are celebrating. They are getting richer while we are getting poor, and you're clapping. It's insane. The middle class is being squeezed daily, and the cost of necessities, housing, education, and healthcare has risen faster than our wages, and you're clapping. Many workers, for many people, they are seeing the same thing. We want to take a closer look at the economic trends behind these changes and what they could mean for the future of the American economy. It's just garbage. To understand how the economic divide has expanded, economists often look back in the late 1970s and the early 80s, Reaganomics and trickle-down economics that was created in about this time period. That period marked the beginning of a dramatic shift in income distribution in the United States. Research from the Pew Research Center shows that between 1979 and 2018, the top 1% of earners experienced real wage growth of nearly 158%. They taking all the money. Meanwhile, the bottom 90% of workers saw wage growth of just 23.9%. Stagnation of the wages for the middle class. In simple terms, the wealthiest Americans saw their income grow more than 6 times faster than the vast majority of workers. Another way economists measure inequality is through what's called the 90-10 ratio. In 1980, households near the top of the income distribution earned about 9 times more than those near the bottom. By 2018, that gap had expanded to 12.6 times more. There's nearly a 40% increase in the distance between the top and the bottom of the income ladder. Go ahead.
Another major economic trend shaping this conversation is something that economists call the productivity pay gap. Since 1979, American workers have become far more productive. Overall productivity, which is the amount of value workers produce in the economy, has increased by more than 61%. That's a big number. But the typical worker's hourly pay has only grown by 23%. It's pretty low. That means that workers are producing significantly more wealth for the economy than what they were decades ago. But yet, much of that wealth has not translated into higher wages for the average employee.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, a large portion of that economic growth has flowed upward to the executives, the shareholders, and the high income earners.
Mm-hmm.
One of the clearest examples of this shift is the rise in executive compensation. In the late 1970s, CEOs typically earned around 30 times more than their average worker. Today, CEOs at major corporations are earning more than 340 times the pay of their employees. That represents the most dramatic shifts in corporate compensation structures in modern economic history. They making bukus of money while we making pennies.
Pennies. And there are people that are celebrating. They're happy. They're happy that we have people that are so rich that they're making 300 times more than their fucking average worker.
What's up, Cap for Life?
What up, man? So while the gap between the rich and the poor has widened, the gender wage gap has moved in a different direction. Over the long term in 1982, women earned about 65 cents for every dollar earned by men. Over the decades, that gap gradually has narrowed. By 2022, women earned roughly 84 cents for every dollar earned by men, the highest level recorded. But recent data shows that progress may be slowing. For the first time in more than 60 years, the gender pay gap widened for 2 consecutive years. In 2023, women earned about 83 cents per dollar. In 2024, that dropped further to 81 cents. So it's going the opposite direction.
It's going down.
But these are the policies that these people are putting in place nowadays because they are upset about some of the progress that women and people of color have made over the last 20 years. So they are trying to do their best to reverse these trends.
Exactly. And when you look deeper into the numbers, the wage gap becomes even more pronounced for women of color. In 2024, Black women earned approximately 66 cents for every dollar paid to a white man. For Latina women, the gap is even larger, earning only 51 to 58 cents per dollar for every white man. These disparities reflect a combination of factors, including occupational segregation, unequal access to opportunity, and historical inequalities in wealth accumulation. It's a reminder that economic inequality in America is not just about income levels. It also intersects with issues like race, gender, and access. They don't want us to have the money. They don't want us to have access to those funds. So the funds are trickled up to the white man. We earn less than they do.
I'm happy you brought up education, Liquid Skittles, because we're going to talk about that. The education divide. Another growing divide in America economy is based on education. As Republicans are making it harder and harder, they're pushing for private schools and all these schools that a lot of people can get turned away from or can't even afford to go to. So they're making it harder, and they're hoping that the next generation is dumber. Already we see this new generation is dumber than their parents. And we're going with that. We're okay with that. The American economy is based on education, man. And economists refer to this as the college wage premiums. In 1980, workers with a college degree typically earn about 40% more than those with only a high school diploma. By the year 2000, that difference had increased dramatically, rising to nearly 90% more. While these people sit around and tell you that a college education means nothing, if you have one, you make 90% more than the person that went to fucking just high school. All of them elites, all of them, they're going to Harvard, they're going to Stanford, they're going to the Ivy League schools while telling you, don't send your kids to school.
Yep.
And we're falling for it.
And they're telling you that college is a hoax.
Right.
It's a scam.
We're falling for it, hook, line, and sinker, putting our kids into home schools,
Private
doing everything
schools.
we can to try to listen to them as they destroy public education. This means that a college education became one of the strongest predictors of income in the American economy. But higher education has also become significantly more expensive. There used to be free options for school. Student loan debt in the United States now exceeds $1.7 trillion for millions of Americans. The path of higher learning potential now comes with long-term financial obligations.
Yep. And the middle class has historically been the foundation of economic stability in the United States. But over the last several decades, many middle income households have been forced or have faced increasing financial pressure. Housing prices have surged, healthcare costs have risen, childcare has become a major burden for a lot of families because increased childcare expenses. And while the economy has grown overall, wages for many middle class workers have not kept pace with the costs of living, with the rising costs of living, to be exact. And as a result, economists have observed the shrinking share of Americans who identify as middle class.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, wealth accumulation has become increasingly concentrated among households that already own financial assets like stocks, real estate, and investment portfolios.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Now, all of these trends raise a broader question about the long-term direction of the American economy. If the gap between high earners and everyone else continues to widen, if access to opportunity becomes increasingly tied to wealth and education, then the United States could be moving toward a more stratified economic structure where upward mobility becomes harder to achieve and where economic outcomes are increasingly shaped by the circumstances people are born into.
Yep. And the United States still has an enormous economic strength and innovation. But maintaining a healthy society also requires broad participation in economic growth, unfortunately. When prosperity becomes concentrated at the very top, it raises concerns not only about fairness, but about long term stability. Economic inequality can influence everything from housing access
Mm-hmm.
and education opportunities to political participation and the public's trust.
Right. I mean, while we fight over programs like DEI, and the president is celebrating in his State of the Union, we killed DEI. You killed inequality. You killed diversity. You killed equity. These are the things that you're trying to kill. You want this to grow wider. You want black people to be poor. I mean, the president is openly admitting these things. I don't know, Ryan. We've been hoping for a crash for a minute, man. These prices are ridiculous. And you know, and you heard President Trump talk about it. He says that he doesn't want it to crash because a lot of his people have a lot of money. They feeling good about how much their house is worth right now. So forget us people that's trying to buy their first home. Forget them. But we'll see. But something has to move, man, because these homes they cost too much. They're not worth what the paper that they're written on. $500,000 for a house, man.
On average.
Like this is crazy. Like most people, the 500,000. You think that's rich people? Like $1 million home. Dang, he must be rich. But no, that's the norm now to get a house. You know, we can't even afford it. A $500,000 house, you got to have $50,000. $500,000 to get the house. 50,000, that's crazy. But the conversation about inequality is not simply about numbers or economic charts. It's about the future and the opportunity in America, man. Whether the country continues to function as a place where people can move upward or whether it becomes more divided along the economic lines, the debate will likely shape public policy and political discussions for years to come. We're watching it in real time as all these people are getting rich. They have a home in the Hamptons, a home in Beverly Hills. We can't even afford an apartment. Can't afford your insulin. You're dying on the side of the road because you can't get the heart valve you needed. While these people living the greatest life ever, flying jets everywhere, private jets, buying out Disneyland so they can have it to themselves, living the life. And we all sit around online and say how great they are. This wages need to come up, man. Interest rates is not going to fix the housing, man. It's the price of these houses are too crazy, man. The mortgage rates, I think it fell under 6%. Still, people are not burning to buy these houses. Whew. Horrible news. Trump has did another terrible job with jobs. I mean, he did it last time. I mean, this is the thing when it comes to everybody online is talking about research, do your research. Nobody did their research and saw this dude lost jobs the first time.
No, they
didn't. He's been bad for the economy both times. It's not like this is a surprise. All right, man, we're about to get into some clips, man, of the week's mess with old Christy Nome. And the mess, her Congress hearing getting her fired. It exposed DHS spending, a lot of fraud she has going on. A lot of fraud from Christy Nome. Should we shut down DHS? And they took Medicare away from fucking old people and little kids in Minnesota because it was fraud. So all the fraud that Christy Nome is doing, should we just shut down everything? Shut down DHS, shut it all down? Crazy. Crazy, man. But this is what's going on, man. Christy Nome. I'm happy she was finally held accountable and fired. But she's just to blame. These are the policies that Stephen Miller and Trump wanted to push down to be cruel. And she's catching the blame for it. But she was just doing, excuse me, she was just doing what Trump wanted done. He wanted this cruelty. He wanted this shit in the streets. He wanted ICE running around. He had no problem with all of it. He was, Christy Nome's doing a great job. Until they found out that she was spending all that money for these commercials, and she said that Donald Trump said it was okay. He didn't like that. So that's when she got fired. All the other mess that she's done, it was cool. Well, we're looking into the political fallout surrounding Homeland Security, Christy Nome, following a tense congressional hearing that raised serious questions about government spending, legal compliance, and the use of taxpayer dollars. During a House hearing that quickly turned confrontational, multiple members of Congress accused the Department of Homeland Security of ignoring courts, misusing federal funds, and engaging in what some lawmakers described as a self-promotion at the public's expense. Shortly after that hearing, reports began circulating that Nome was being removed from her position. We're going to walk through that and some of the clips from the hearing, the accusations that lawmakers made, and why this moment is being described by critics as another example of taxpayer money being siphoned away without accountability. Like always. They do a whole bunch of mess and no one pays the price. They done stole all this money. She buying jets, luxury jets, siphoning money to her businesses. Ugly stuff, man. Then the Republican Party, fraud. Those Somali people committing fraud. Nah, Christy Nome stealing right in your fucking face.
Yep.
And none of you care. Nothing from them, nothing from the right. No complaints. Their skin isn't dark enough, so we don't really care. Real ignorant stuff, man. But the first major moment in this hearing came during a House Judiciary hearing when Representative Becca Blunt directly confronted Christy Nome over immigration enforcement actions. Blunt's questioning focused on whether officials inside DHS were following the law and whether the department had been truthful with federal courts. She warned that ignoring court orders could lead to legal consequences, not just for the department, but for all individuals involved. Go ahead and run that clip. It should say Berlin opposite. There we go. Go down. Right there.
When you look at what the court said in the Erster case, it said the court rejects this testimony from ICE's leadership as disingenuous, as squalid, and dishonorable. So we have a federal judge who has rejected testimony from ICE's leadership because it wasn't true. So the head of ICE, Acting Director Todd Lyons, lied in sworn testimony. Has he been fired?
No, Todd Lyons is a good man who has
have there been
decades,
any, Secretary, no, have there been any consequences? Has there been any consequences for him lying to a federal judge? That's what I want to know. Are there any consequences for someone under your leadership
common knowledge
lying?
We have activist judges out there throwing opinions.
So you have
around
said
that are not based
repeatedly,
on law,
again, I just want to bring us back to my question. You have said that we are a nation of laws.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Nobody is above the law. You are not above the law. Todd Lyons is not above the law. No one working for you, nobody working for you is above the law. So I want to say this, Secretary Noem. It is shocking to Americans right now to see that you can sit in front of this committee and continue to cover for people who are working under you. You're in charge now. This is your DHS. The buck stops with you. The fact that you have people working under you that are lying to federal judges and that you're not going to take responsibility for that and hold them accountable to that is shocking. And I think Americans deserve so much better than that. And your employees have regularly ignored court orders and lied to judges. Now you're covering up. And I just want to say, this conduct alone is impeachable. And I want you to know that Americans will get accountability for the damage that you have done, for the lawlessness of aspects of DHS, for killing innocent Americans, for terrorizing children. They will get accountability. And you are the Secretary of DHS for now. And you think you're immune from accountability, but I promise you this, one day, he is not going to be president anymore. He is not going to be in charge. And when that day comes, we will still be here. And we will still be seeking accountability. And in hearings like this, we are going to continue to prove your guilt. I yield back.
The lady yields back. Gentleman from South Carolina is recognized.
There we go. Destroying her, man. Because her record has been disgusting. She's acted disgusting since day one. Everything is a fucking photo op for this lady. I mean, that's what she was doing in Idaho. They showed photos of her as every job in the world that she was making videos of herself. She's been a self-promoter since day one. And Berlin was questioning Noam about court orders, truthfulness to judges. And it's nothing but lies from this lady. That exchange was significant because members of Congress were not just criticizing policy. They were raising the possibility that federal officials could be held legally accountable for their actions. The lawmaker starts talking about ignoring court orders. That moves the conversations from politics into the realm of potential misconduct. And that set the tone for the rest of the hearing. Because what followed were a series of accusations about money, contracts, and spending decisions inside the department. And we haven't seen the end of it yet. Now, one of the most explosive moments from the hearing came when Representative Joe Negisi questioned Noam about a contract involved in a company called Safe America Business. According to Negisi, the Department of Homeland Security sent $143 million in taxpayer funds to a company that had been created only 8 days before the contract was awarded. Negezi suggested the timing raised concerns about how the contract was approved and whether proper oversight took place. Let's go ahead and watch that next exchange between Negezi and it's going to be in the same area. Go up one.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
4 companies.
Are you
4 of the hundreds of thousands of companies in the United States, you identified 4. One of those is this Safe America Media company. Where is Safe America Media headquartered?
I don't know.
I don't know either, Madam Secretary. We can't find it. We can't find a website. We did find an address that's registered for this company. Do you know where that address is?
Is there a problem with this contract?
I'll
Because
tell you
was
about
done
it.
According to
Madam
law.
Secretary,
It was done by
the
career
address is
officials.
registered to a political
It was
operative.
dollars that were spent
Madam Secretary, the company,
inform
and then
people
I'll give you an
that the
opportunity to
laws-
respond. The company is registered to a political operative in Virginia. Do you know, just by way of example, whether this company that received $143 million in taxpayer dollars, has it ever done work for the government before?
I don't know. I can't.
The answer is it has not. And do you know why we know that? Because it was incorporated 8 days before this contract went out. You want the American people to believe that this is all above board?
Yes,
that $143 million of taxpayer money just happened to go to this one company that doesn't have a headquarters, doesn't have a website, has never done work for the federal government before, and is registered apparently or attached to a residence from a political operative. And of course, one of the subcontractors of that contract, as you know, is a political firm that's tied to you back when you were governor of South.
Tied to her.
Scandalous. Now, is the right up? Are they up in arms about this fraud? Are they going and reporting and going to this company and knocking on the company's door to figure out the fraud? Oh, they're not Somali, so they don't care.
Right.
It's not a Democrat state, so they don't care. Like everything is politics with these people. Do you care about fraud or you don't? Because this is fraud right under your nose.
Right, exactly. Because when you hear a number like $143 million,
Mm-hmm.
the obvious question becomes, how did a brand new company receive a contract of that size? The company was only 8 days old. 1 week old. A week and a day.
Crazy.
That's it. But federal contracts normally go through multiple levels of review. There are supposed to be safeguards to prevent fraud, favoritism, or misuse of taxpayer funds.
Mm-hmm.
So when lawmakers hear that a company only days old received that kind of money, it immediately raises red flags. And that wasn't the only spending issue raised during the hearing.
Later in the hearing, Representative Jamie Raskin confronted Noam over what he described as excessive spending on public relations, travel, and personal promotion. Raskin accused the Department of funding photo shoots, advertising campaigns, and luxury travel, while asking Congress for more and more money. He also questioned reports about government aircraft, including the use of multiple jets and planes to refurbish or purchase additional ones. I mean, it's pretty crazy. But let's go ahead and play that clip with Rankin, right? Raskin. Down. Either one, it don't matter. Play the longer one.
Personal slush fund. You budgeted an astonishing $220 million for media consultant contracts so you can star in self-promoting photo shoots and lavish ad campaigns like this one of you riding horseback at Mount Rushmore, which was shot during last year's government shutdown. You're living rent-free in the official waterfront residence reserved for the commandant of the U.S. Coast Guard. You spent $172 million to buy not one, but 2 luxury jets for your travel, and now you're using taxpayer funds to lease a 3rd jet, a $70 million luxury 737 MAX with a queen-size bedroom in the back, a deluxe serving bar, and 4 flat-screen TVs. A big, beautiful jet paid for by the big, beautiful bill. Yesterday, under questioning the Senate, you said you plan to refurbish this jet to make it into this kind of airplane, which is what's actually being used for deportations in order to save the taxpayers' money. In other words, you're saying that's actually a deportation plane. But wouldn't it have been cheaper just to buy a deportation plane in the first place? It's like buying a Rolls Royce to turn into a Metro bus. I was almost prepared to buy that story of how the jet was both for executive travel and mass deportation. And then I heard about an airborne episode of entitlement, arrogance, and contempt that I could hardly believe. Apparently, when your special blanket, your blankie, was left on one of the government jets and not transported over to the new one, your special government employee, Corey Lewandowski, chivalrously stepped forward to fire the pilot midair, a 2003 Coast Guard Academy graduate and distinguished U.S. Coast Guard commander in Air Station, Washington, D.C. But then he had to be rehired immediately because there was no one else who could fly the two of you on the rest of the journey back home.
Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Republicans, you know, they don't hold their people to account.
No, they don't.
The only thing they do is, what about? Well, what about? Well, what about? Well, what about?
And that's all they
That's
do.
all. That's all they do. That's all they do. They never say, well, yeah, she's well, she got fired. No, fired is not enough when you've committed actual crime, stealing taxpayer dollars.
Yep.
This lady should be in fucking jail.
Exactly. But, you know, those kinds of accusations are politically damaging because they create the impression that the taxpayer money is being used for image building instead of public service. And when lawmakers talk about luxury travel, waterfront living, and expensive publicity campaigns, it feeds a broader narrative that government officials are out of touch with the people that are actually paying bills. And when those accusations come out during a public hearing, the political pressure can build very, very quickly, like it did with Kristi Noem.
That's funny, Liquid Skittles. You bring up the Nancy Pelosi. You know, they tried to pass the Nancy Pelosi bill, and the Republicans voted against it.
Exactly.
Missouri congressman brought the bill to the House, and the Republicans rejected it. They all voted against it. Then they all have you out here, Nancy Pelosi. She ain't even the richest person out there. Angus King is. And he was one of the first people that went out there and made sure that he was going against it. He's an independent. Sometimes he's Democrat. Sometimes he's Republican. But whatever. It's not fair. People should be able to make money is what they said. And they downed the bill. So still stop bringing up the Nancy Pelosi bill. Stop bringing up Nancy Pelosi. Because Republicans did not want to do. They made a bill, the Nancy Pelosi bill, last year when they were in charge of everything, the House, the Senate, and the president. Nancy Pelosi bill was put on the table. What did they do? They downed it. So you can keep falling for the bullshit. We are smart enough to know that they don't want any money taken away from them. Just like they voted against the bill that any sex crimes that happens in Congress must become to the public. Voted against it. Voted against it. Y'all so worried about Nancy Pelosi, but like I just said, the Nancy Pelosi bill was put in place. Republicans voted against it. Wouldn't you think if they don't want Nancy to have all this money?
If they was against insider trading and
they would have
fraud,
fucking voted
they
for
would have
it.
voted for it to
Easily.
say, yeah, let's stop it.
Let's stop it. But no.
They said, no,
they
we
just
don't want to stop it. We want to keep doing it
They
ourselves.
just want to use Nancy Pelosi as a prop for these idiots who don't read anything. they make her the scapegoat, and all these dumbasses run behind it. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi. Stupid as fuck, dog. All these Republicans are making millions and trillions of dollars off of this shit.
Right.
There was insider trading on the beginning of the fucking Iran war. That people on the inside made money because when the war started, they don't have a problem with that. They only have a problem when it's on somebody on the left. But if it's somebody on the right, they don't care. Don't care at all. It's what you call hypocrites. The only thing that matters is if they're a D or an R next to their name. If you're a Democrat and you commit fraud, I don't give a fuck. Get out of here. I think insider trading should be taken away. Nancy Pelosi, all these people shouldn't be able to make this money. But anytime the bill comes up, the people who try to use it for their gain always vote against it. It's crazy. If you're using it to talk about the Democrats, they're making insider money. All right, let's do something about it. No, let's not do nothing about it. We don't want to do nothing about it. What do you mean? If you want to do something about it to stop her, they should have passed the bill.
Yep.
They had control of the House and the Senate, and they didn't do it. And you still gonna be like Nancy Pelosi. It's because y'all they know y'all are dumb and they're not gonna read anything. You're not gonna read the bill that the Missouri congressman brought forth. The Nancy Pelosi bill to stop insider trading. All Republicans voted against it. Craziness. How you gonna be for trading and you tried to call out Nancy Pelosi? You just called her out. Oh, Nancy Pelosi, then you're for. Well, you can't say nothing about her making the money then.
Right.
Another issue raised during the hearing involved the reported $220 million budget allocation connected to promotional campaigns and media projects tied to department. Critics urged that the spending priorities did not match the department's stated mission and that the public deserved a clearer explanation of how the money was being used. Taken together, the questions about contracts and spending and legal compliance created a hearing that was far more confrontational than routine fucking oversight. But that was the one that got her fired because Trump didn't like that he was being put out there as the person that okayed her to spend $200 million on commercials. And I saw these commercials. I saw the marketing that she was doing. Like, why is she doing this? What is this? This costs money. She's on YouTube. She's everywhere. All this shit is our money going down the fucking drain. If you are here illegal, we want you to leave. Like, what the hell is this? It was just wasted dollars, wasted taxpayer money. Why they tell us that they can't give us health care. They can't afford this. Every other fucking Western country can afford health care, but we can't. America can't do it. We should have universal health care for everyone to make sure that everyone is good. Instead, we got medical debt. People are fucking dying because they can't afford to pay their medical bills. That's dumb. That's stupid. No American should die with all the money this country has. We went into wars with Iran. It's stupid. All the money we're going to spend bombing these people comes out that we are the ones that bomb these little girls. We should have universal health care just like every other country in the universe, the world. Obamacare wasn't, obviously, man. There are things that were things that were done to Obamacare. A lot of states didn't take the Medicare expansion. A lot of states didn't step up to offer the insurance for a lot of people. Healthcare insurance was not put in place in the places that should have had the access to these insurance groups that Obama put in place for other people to be able to get the insurance. The Republicans were in charge. Republicans had the power. They had the power, if they wanted to pass that fucking bill. But they did not get it done. Medicare, medical, everything is rampant with fraud when it comes to healthcare. Healthcare is a lot of fraud, man. And if the government was to take it over, a lot of that fraud would be cut out because it's the middleman that's always using the fucking fraud. Yes, I've seen Canada healthcare. They do way better than us. They do not have people losing their houses because they couldn't pay their medical bills. They don't have people losing everything because of medical bills. Now, in the days following the hearing, Trump fired Kristi Noem. She has been removed from her position, while official statements described the change as part of a broader administrative shift. Critics pointed directly to the hearing as the turning point. Lawmakers from both parties had publicly questioned her leadership. Questions about her contracts, court orders, and spending were now part of the public record, and the political pressure had become difficult to ignore.
But what stands out in situations like this is the pattern. We often see large amounts of taxpayer money moving through government agencies with very little public attention until a hearing forces those details into the open. Whether it's contracts, travel, advertising, or enforcement policies, the concern that many people have is that oversight only happens after the fact. And when that happens, the public starts asking whether or not the system is actually working the way it's supposed to. And many start believing that it's not working the way it's supposed to.
This dude talking about Obamacare is rampant with fraud. You know, Obamacare is other insurance companies. You know that? I know you want to blame it on Obama, but it's insurance companies that have been in charge forever that are offering this insurance, my guy. So if it's fraud, it's Aetna. It's all those companies that offer the insurance that has the fraud. Obamacare is not an insurance company. It worked with all other insurance companies to have a central location for people who don't have a 40-hour-a-week job for they can try to get insurance.
Yep.
Obamacare is not,
Right.
They don't do anything with the insurance. It's the companies.
Like we were watching the other day, there was a segment saying how CVS owns Aetna, and they also own the pharmacy, and they also own the prescription benefit manager. So CVS is basically saying, we're going to set the price for how much your insurance premium costs, and then we're going to set the price for how much the prescription costs, and then you're going to have to go to the pharmacy in order to pick up your prescription. So guess what? We're still going to make all of that money because you're paying all of that money right back into our pocket.
Yes, Trump is working to make it harder for us to get health care. We were giving money to those insurance companies to provide a health care for us as Americans. You think it's going to help to dismiss those companies? You dismiss them if you want to. The only thing that happened is the outcome is our rates will go up. These companies look at us as how they can make more money. CVS is shady as hell, and they are doing everything they can to keep our healthcare going up. But we need to cut these companies out for they can stop looking at us as potential profits. Our healthcare should not be about profit, man. They should not make decision on who lives or dies by who has enough money. Yeah, and I mean the fact that he put his name on it lets you know what it's about. He's trying to make money off the American people. Now, Obamacare is something that they called it. It's called the Affordable Care Act. It's not called Obamacare. He didn't put his fucking name on shit. Trump put his names on everything. But you know, the congressional hearings don't always lead to immediate consequences, but sometimes the questions asked in these rooms change the political reality for the people involved. In this case, lawmakers accused the Department of Homeland Security of ignoring court orders, approving questionable contracts, and spending taxpayer money in ways that demanded explanations. Shortly after Christy Nolan was no longer in the position she had been defending, whether that was a coincidence or a consequence is something viewers will have to decide for themselves. But we're going to go on to the next story, though, man. But it's something that we figured we just wanted to talk about more. It's disgusting, man. Y'all really happy that Jasmine Crockett lost. We know. We're happy. I'm not going to lie to you, man. When it first came out that she was running for the Senate seat, I thought it was a mistake. I could be wrong, but I thought that she should have tried to go for a congressional seat. But Tallarico, we'll see what he does. Let's see if he wins. If a Democrat wins in Texas, something that hasn't happened in a while, that's all it's about. It's not about just shitting on Jasmine Crockett like you guys want to do. It's about bringing forth the best Democrat to be able to beat the Republican in Texas. And that's the most important thing. To have people in there and that's going to push forward an agenda that isn't pro-billionaire. So this week, man, more allegations came out for Trump connected to the Epstein files. We had been talking about them for a while because we had already knew about these because this was one of the biggest stories that was coming out of the files when the biggest tranche was released. Now, most people ignored it because, they want to ignore everything when it comes to Epstein and Trump. They never want to hold him accountable for anything. We're going to go into it a little bit, but because, people aren't interested in the Epstein files as much anymore, because it's not the people who they wanted to be in there. Not at all. But there's a little bit of tension around those documents and once again putting President Trump at the center of the controversy. For years, the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein has raised questions about powerful people, sealed records, and what information was never been fully released to the public. Now newly discussed material connected to court filings, testimony, and previously undisclosed documents is fueling fresh debate about who knew what, who was involved, and whether the full story is ever going to be told. Supporters of the president says accusations are politically motivated, even though we see the shit in writing, and it's from years ago. Critics say the public deserves answers no matter who is involved. We're going to go through what's been alleged, what has actually been confirmed, and why the Epstein case continues to follow some of the most powerful figures in American politics today. So, while this shit will never go away, man, Jeffrey Epstein's case has never fully left the national conversation. Even after his death 2019 in federal custody, lawsuits, court filings, and investigations reportings have continued to reveal new information. Excuse me. In his network of associates, Epstein was accused of running a trafficking operation involving underage girls, and prosecutors said his connections included politicians, business leaders, and we know that. Because of those connections, the case has always raised questions about whether powerful people were protected each time new documents are released or referenced in court. The story returns to the headlines, and that's what's happening again today, man.
And the latest controversy centers around material connected to previously sealed records tied to the Epstein investigations and civil lawsuits According to reports circulating in political and legal circles, new attention is being placed on references to Donald Trump in the documents connected to Epstein's social network. It's important for us to be clear here that being mentioned in the documents or testimony does not mean that someone has committed a crime. Again, to be clear, being mentioned in those documents or testimony does not mean that someone has committed a crime. But when the name of a former president or current president appears in the files connected to one of the most notorious criminal cases in modern history, it immediately becomes a major political story. And that's why the current discussion is getting this much attention.
Yeah, man. We all know the history, man. Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were known to hang out with each other in the 90s and early 2000s. We got photographs, we got parties, we got footage, and public statements confirmed that the two moved in some of the same social circles. Trump himself acknowledged knowing Epstein in the past, though later he said that they had fallen out. In the 2002 interview, Trump described Epstein as someone he had known for years, but for Epstein's legal troubles became public, Trump said he had not spoken to him in a long time. That history has made Trump's name come up repeatedly whenever Epstein documents are discussed, and each time it happens, the political reaction is immediate. So, what are the new claims, man? The latest allegations being discussed do not come from a criminal conviction or new charges. Instead, they come from references in documents, testimony, and legal filings connected to the broader Epstein investigation. Now, why the FBI didn't go any further and talk to Trump about these accusations is besides me. I don't understand why no one paid the price.
They should have.
If I had those accusations against me, they would have been immediately kicking down my motherfucking door, kicking me out, pulling me out the house, and taking me down to the station. This guy get this shit, no, they say nothing to him. There's two different systems in this fucking country. He has a person that has a story telling you minute by minute what happened, and they don't even go talk to Trump about it.
The person that's being accused.
The accuser he's never even been talked to. That's crazy. But that's why it's two different systems in America. People just getting away with stuff. Oh, we can't go arrest Trump. He's a great guy. Some reports claim that additional names were mentioned in connection with Epstein's social gatherings, travel, or contacts. Critics argue that all of the information should be released publicly so the full story can be examined. Supporters of Trump say that selective leaks and incomplete records are being used to create suspicion without proof, even though they are the ones that fucking released the documents. Because many of the documents remain sealed or partially redacted, the situation remains unclear because there's more information that should be coming out is what people are saying.
Exactly. And the reason that the Epstein files continue to matter is because the case has always been about more than one person. Epstein's wealth, influence, and his influence allowed him access to multiple powerful circles. When someone like that is accused of a serious crime, people want to know who else was around, who knew what, and whether or not anyone was protected. And that's why every new reference in the court records becomes a national story. It raises the possibility that there are still details that the public has never seen. And it also raises questions about whether or not the justice system treated everyone in those files the same way. We already know they didn't, because look at how they're treating Trump versus how they're treating the Clinton.
Right. It's like this dude here, Bud Russell. Did you see Bill Clinton? Did you see Donald Trump? Bill Clinton was called to a hearing. Y'all calling them the Clinton files. But Bill has no rape allegations in the files like Trump do. There's actual allegations, blow by blow record of what Trump was doing. I use that word because that's what he was trying to get done.
Right.
By a little girl.
Yep.
Immediately, she admitted it. Said state by statement, this is my statement. This happened to me, and it was Trump that did it to me.
And it was in this order that it happened.
No girl said that about Bill Clinton. But they did say it about Trump.
Yup.
Now, I know that y'all, look over there.
And
y'all
was Trump questioned?
Never any accountability when it comes to y'all. Yeah, man. And what it would look like Trump was doing in these files is bad news. But the time of these renewed allegations is also significant. Donald Trump remains one of the most influential figures in American politics, and controversies connected to his name quickly becomes part of the national political debate. Well, he's the fucking president. Mm-hmm. His stupid ass supporters argue that investigations involving Trump are often amplified because of his political role. Critics argue that no one, including the president, should be beyond scrutiny.
Shouldn't be.
That divide is part of why the Epstein case continues to be controversial. Mm-hmm. It sits at the intersection of crime, power, and politics.
Exactly. And one of the most common calls from both the public and some lawmakers is simple. Release all the files. We don't care who's in them. Release them all. But there has been a growing pressure for courts and federal agencies to make more records public, especially those related to Epstein's associates. Some argue that full transparency is the only way to end all these years of speculation. Mm-hmm. And others warn that releasing the unverified or incomplete information could unfairly damage people who were never charged with any wrongdoing. Doesn't matter. You were associated. You were linked to him. This is what's going on. We need to know the extent of your association with Epstein. Mm-hmm. That tension between transparency and due process is one of the reasons why the issue has dragged on for this many years.
That's real. You're right, John. You are right, John. If they would catch him in the act, and they still wouldn't fucking admit it. They still would deny it. They can watch a video of him raping little girls and no, he didn't do it. It's not Trump.
It's AI.
It's made up. He didn't know. Not my daddy. They don't care. All of us are sitting around. They keep on bringing up Bill Clinton, but every single Democrat that I know is like, hey, if Bill Clinton has anything to do with this shit, he should be held to account. These are words that you can't fix your mouth to say. I can say it easily. Put him in jail. If Bill Clinton did something that was inappropriate,
put him in jail.
Lock him the fuck up. But you can't say that. When we say, hey, we need to hold Trump to the same standards as Bill Clinton.
Interview him.
Oh no, we can't. No, we're not interviewing Trump. He's already been exonerated.
Because Ghislaine Maxwell said, I'll exonerate you.
Fuck out of here, man.
If you give me clemency.
We see the accusations with Trump. Like these dudes are willing to die for this guy. Pedo protectors, man. That's all they are, a bunch of pedo protectors. They try to push it off and say, it's the Democrats. But the Democrats are steady hollering. That's why they let Hillary and Bill Clinton go.
That's why they let them do their testimony.
That's why they wanted that shit to go down.
That's why they leaked Hillary Clinton's testimony.
No, they leaked it because the Republicans are trying to make it all about them.
Yep.
But the Democrats were like, all right, let's bring in Bill Clinton and Hillary. Go ahead. All right, now, all right, you brought in the president. All right, now we're going to bring in the president. We after Trump. The Republicans set themselves up. It's just crazy shit. I've never seen somebody so fucking dumb. But they thought they were getting some red meat by getting in Bill Clinton in there. We're going to make it the Clinton files.
Yep.
But nope, the accusations keep piling on for fucking Trump. New allegations of Trump raping and making a girl give him a job. And y'all going to sit around and say, he didn't do it. He didn't do it, but Bill Clinton is guilty, though. Fuck out of here, man. Bias. Stop letting your bias from being in a cult run your brain. Now, no other cases in modern history have created the much public suspicion as the fucking Epstein files. Investigation after investigation. His death in federal custody. The number of people protected and connected to him, and the fact that many records still remain sealed and hidden. And the DOJ is still taking down files, removing files, trying to fucking help Lutnick and Trump and all these other motherfuckers. All of this crap has created a sense that the story is unfinished. So when new allegations surface, even if they are from old documents, the reaction is immediate. People want to know what the fuck is going on. Is the truth ever going to be fucking told?
Exactly. That's what they want to know. And at the center of it all is a larger issue. Trust. Trust in the justice system. Trust in the government. Trust that powerful people are held to the same standards as everyday people. When a case involves wealth, influence, and secrecy, that trust can be shaken. And once it's shaken, every new allegation becomes bigger than the document itself.
Yeah.
It becomes a test of whether the system actually works.
Now, the Republicans love to say, well, the Democrats didn't release the files. Well, Trump didn't want to release the fucking files either. If a court order didn't make them do it, they wouldn't have did it. It doesn't make you look any better by saying, oh, well, the Democrats didn't release them. It doesn't matter when you're in the fucking files and you're committing crimes in the files.
And you ran on transparency and releasing those files.
Doesn't matter. Oh, the Democrats should have released them. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The bullshit excuse that you're trying to push doesn't matter when I find your name in the fucking files. When you have accusations of rape in the fucking files, it doesn't, well, they didn't release them. If the Democrats was to release the files, if Biden was to release the files, let's say if he did, we know what your reaction would have been. It's all fake. It's fake news to try to make Trump not run for president. That's all it is. It's just a setup to try to make Trump not the president. We don't believe it. You wouldn't have believed it. You would have made every excuse in the world. But now that it's coming out, while Trump is in charge, y'all still trying to run the gamut. But you know what? You can't. This is his DOJ. This shit is the truth. And if it was Biden, y'all would be hollering, it's fake. It's fake news. This is made up by CNN. That's what y'all would be fucking saying. But you can't say that now because it's under Trump. And it's his DOJ.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I'm happy they didn't. Because none of y'all bullshit excuses are gonna walk anymore. Because that's all y'all would have had is a page full of fucking excuses. For you could say, oh, Joe Biden did this for political reasons. I'm happy he didn't release them. Now all these accusations of pedophilia is on Trump's lap, and y'all can try to fight it all y'all want, but it's his DOJ that released it. I have a code, dumbass. But the new allegations connected to the Epstein files remain just that, allegations tied to documents. We don't know how true or real they are. But we know if the allegations were Democrats or Bill Clinton or anybody else, the Republicans would be running on it on Fox News every second of the fucking day. We all know that.
Thank you.
But reports are still being debated. New charges have been filed for some in other countries. No court has ruled on these claims, but the fact that the story continues to resurface shows how deeply the Epstein case still affects public confidence. And as long as the questions remain unanswered, the controversy is likely to continue. Now, he can blow up whoever he wants to, start whatever war he wants. It's not going to take away these files and this Epstein thing. But we already know that the amount of time that has been searched has went down immediately as soon as the war started. So Trump is like, yeah, I'm winning. I'm winning. Because people aren't talking about the files as much because the war in Iran has happened. Iran has happened. Iran. And they love it. But this shit ain't going nowhere. It's not going away. Period. We're going to keep talking about it. We're going to keep talking about it. Because do we know that this dude needs to be handed? He needs to be held to account. Now let's get into this Iran war, man, and talk about some of this stuff with some clips. It's all propaganda that the Trump administration has been pushing. Propaganda to change the subject from Epstein Island and Epstein and all the rape accusations that's coming out about Trump. Let's blow up some people. Let's put some American lives in danger just to change the fucking subject. Just to change the subject, man. That's what he's doing. He's blowing up people to distract from the Epstein files and the shit that just came out. It's nothing for corruption, man. More Americans are starting to ask out loud, who are we really fighting for right now? We got some clips from Tucker Carlson, Pete Hegseth, members of Congress, the White House, and even veterans speaking out against this war in Iran. We're also going to look at how the media frames war, how politicians send other people's kids to fight, and why more Americans feel like the system is fucking broken. So, Tucker Carlson is talking about the Israel war. Tucker Carlson said something you don't often hear on mainstream TV. He said this conflict is not really an American's war. He said it's Israel's war and the American people are being pulled into it. Go ahead and run the clip. Tucker Carlson.
Everybody knows the only reason we're having this war is because Israel wants it. This is their last chance, they believe. This presidency is the last presidency where they're going to have unequivocal bipartisan support. Period. You can't primary every Thomas Massey, and there's a whole army of them coming at some point because everyone can see what's going on. And you can shut down X, and you can shut down the internet. You can be like Great Britain and arrest people who protest Israel, but attitudes are not going to revert to what they were 5 years ago. Sorry. And they know this. So this is their last chance.
Yep.
What's so amazing is that Israel, which at least is acting in what it perceives to be its own national interest, is joined by its shills in the United States, of course. But really, its only other ally in this is the American news media.
We almost done, baby.
Whose job it is to tell you the truth and inform you as to what's happening. To tell you, hey, wake up. The world could be changing, and it's going to affect you and your family. That's their job. And instead, they've been lulling you to sleep with the same variety of transparent lies and propaganda.
Yeah, man. Now, some people are going to call this anti-Semitic, which is bullshit. Nobody has to agree with everything Israel fucking does and says. I mean, I can agree with you on that, Ryan. Tucker Carlson is part of the problem. But when he's right, he's right. This isn't our fucking war. This is Netanyahu's war. He's been trying to push this war for 40 years. Every president has told him no. But Donald Trump needed a distraction, so he went on and went with it because his name was going to be dropped in the Epstein files. They've been pushing this shit for decades, man. Nobody wanted to do this shit because knew it was going to be trash. And that's what's been going on, dog. This is what happens when wars go on long enough. people start asking questions. Not Democrats, not Republicans. Americans are asking questions because history shows us something very clear. The people who send troops rarely send their own fucking kids, which leads to this next clip, man. Combat veteran elites send our kids, man. A 3-time combat veteran calling out elites like Donald Trump and politicians who talk tough about war like Pete Hegseth, putting others in danger and people are going to die, and smirking while saying these things, but never put their own families on the line. They're saying Barron will not be in the military. He's too tall. He's too tall. He's too tall. That is the excuse they're running with. He's too tall. So Barron won't be in there. Trump never ran. His sons never went to the army and the military. They say they love this country so much, but none of them will. None of their family members will go. You know, he shit on the people who go into the army openly. All those people are stupid, but he's going to send them to die for his distraction.
Yep.
Disgusting. That right there is what you hear from people who actually fought. Not TV generals, not politicians, not think tank experts. Military veterans, real soldiers. Go ahead and play that clip. No. Go up. No, keep going. Dang. I don't see dude. Go down. Oh, I see it. The dude, go up again.
Let it.
No, that's not it. You went down too fast. There you go. Boots on the ground.
A 3-time combat veteran, I get pretty damn hot when a 5-time draft dodger like Donald Trump pounds his chest and bangs the war drums in Washington talking about sending boots in the ground. We're not even a year into this administration, and President Trump has bombed 7 countries. He doesn't seem to see a problem that doesn't think he can bomb his way out of. I learned years ago that when elites like Donald Trump bang the war drums and pound their chests in Washington, D.C., and talk about sending troops into the ground or into combat, he's not talking about his kids. He's not talking about all of his minions' kids. He's talking about kids like me and the people that I grew up in working class areas, rural places around the country that have to pick up rifles, jump into tanks or helicopters and do the thing, and do the tough work. Well, America is over it. America is over the $3 trillion we've spent, the quagmires of failed nation building, the sending of our sons and daughters and brothers and sisters to enrich oil executives. America is over endless adventurism using our military because they want their infrastructure rebuilt, they want quality, affordable health care, they want to be able to afford groceries, they want to be able to afford a home, they want to be able to send their kids to school. Those are the things that we are relentlessly focused on as a Democratic caucus.
Now, Representative Jason Crow, he speaks the truth. Now, a lot of these people in the comment section, oh, I'm ready to die. I'll send my son to die. It's fine. My son loved to die. He'll love to die for Donald Trump. That's fine. That's on you. We got another guy talking about there's more conservatives in the military. You know, you're not even supposed to show bias toward Republican or Democrat in the military. So you tell me how they're measuring that. Because you don't go in there saying, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican. Because that's not something they do.
It's not a requirement.
So how are you measuring that? You can't. You're making up shit, like always. Now, even inside Congress, people are starting to say the quiet part out loud. Y'all want to go to war? Go ahead. Take your ass on out there. You ready to die? Go ahead. Send your kids out there. Go die. Go and die. Y'all cried for 4 years saying no war. That's the part that makes people fucking hate conservatives. Biden was trying to keep Ukraine from being taken over, and y'all didn't want that. Y'all wanted Russia to take it. We don't want a war. We don't want any more money sent to Ukraine. We have more problems here. That's what y'all said for 4 years. He gets and y'all get in power. Oh, fuck all that. We were just going against Biden. We just didn't like Biden. We can let's bomb everybody. Let's bomb Iran. Let's bomb. He's bombed 7-8 countries since he's been in control. It's crazy. Just keep bombing motherfuckers. They love, well, Obama, he killed people with drones. Well, Trump already topped that. He killed more people with drones in his first term. And then he took away the numbers to even be able to, for us to even be able to see how many people were killed by drones. He removed it. Now, next, man, I know everybody's seen it, man. Marine was pissed off about us being pushed into this war. And we had people from the Senate get up and push this guy out. And I guess they broke the guy's arm while pulling him out. Are you ready?
Did Obama serve?
Right. Obama respects the people that has served.
He signed them draft papers, unlike Trump did. Trump didn't do it.
Sure did. The Marine. You got to play the video for the Marine.
What's the fight for Israel?
His hand. Oh,
Make it full screen then.
Sir. Let go of your hand. Let go of the door. Let go of the door. Can you A sitting U.S. Senator just broke the hand of a Marine. Sir. Control your Senate. Arm stuck in the door. Okay, sir. A U.S. Senator just broke the hand of a Marine. Hand stuck. A U.S. Senator just broke the hand of a Marine. You're a coward. Punk. Yeah, go fuck yourself. What do you say, Senator?
Sad situation, man. They say they love the troops, but every time they shit on them as much as they can. The dude had something to say. They didn't want to hear it, so they was throwing him out. It's garbage, man. The sergeant, no one wants to fight for Israel, is what he said. And America's waking up, man. We don't want to fight for fucking Israel. What they did on Gaza is disgusting. And Trump is fucking complacent to that. He didn't do anything to try to stop what this dude was doing in Gaza. Nothing. He just let this dude whatever the fuck he want. The Marine stood up in Congress and said something that shook the entire room. He said, no one wants to fight for Israel. And look what happens next. Threw this man out the room. He's come there to give his, to talk and speak as normal people do when it comes to these hearings. They can come and they can speak and say what they want to say and voice their opinions.
As constituents.
They removed him. They didn't debate him. They didn't answer his questions. They just removed him. They didn't like that he was talking bad about Israel and us not wanting to fight the war for them.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you how sensitive this topic is today. Because the important American, because the moment Americans start questioning war, the system gets nervous. Mm-hmm. And speaking of war, listen to what Pete Hegseth used to say before he became defense secretary. Let's listen to this guy talking about Israel.
And today, Jennifer and I and others had a chance to go see the Western Wall of the Temple Mount, the Western Wall tunnels, so much of the old city. And as you stand there, you can't help but behold the miracle before you. And it got me thinking about another miracle that I hope all of you don't see too far away. Because 1917 was a miracle, 1948 was a miracle, 1967 was a miracle, 2017, the declaration of Jerusalem as the capital was a miracle, and there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible. I don't know how it would happen. You don't know how it would happen, but I know that it could happen. That's all I know. And a step in that process, a step in every process, is the recognition that facts and activities on the ground truly matter. And that's why going and visiting Judea and Samaria, understanding that sovereignty, the very sovereignty of Israeli soil, Israeli cities, locations, is a critical next step to showing the world that this is the land for Jews and the land of Israel. And I believe, as was mentioned, he said you need to, what was mentioned is you need to buy the ticket. Don't just wish for 40 years to win the lottery, buy the ticket. I would submit to you, in light of the support you have in Washington, D.C., the support you have amongst patriotic Americans, amongst evangelical Christians, amongst believers, amongst Republicans, even amongst some Democrats who can barely say it anymore in Washington. Buy the ticket, take your action, do what needs to be done here in Israel, because I truly believe this is a moment where America will have your back. You have Donald Trump in the White House, you have Mike Pence as vice president, you have Nikki Haley at the UN, you have true believers in Israel and America that have your back.
Man, before he even got in there, his whole everything that he was trying to do was for Israel. We should have known that we was going to go into an immediate war. This dude lives for Israel. Everything he wants to do, everything he wants to be. Now, what he was talking about in 2017 when they moved the motherfucking they made Jerusalem the capital. That was something that no president wanted to do because they knew that it was going to be some bullshit behind
And
that.
they knew it was going to be a war.
And what happened? Gaza. What happened? War, trying to wipe out every Palestinian that lived. Disgusting, disgusting stuff. And there are these people, well, they are celebrating tonight. Iran, they're celebrating Iran. Come on, man. Just like in Venezuela, there's going to be a small faction of people who are going to be happy that Maduro and the Calamini was killed. But most of the country is against what America did. Yeah, there's small factions. Just like if President Trump was to die right now today, there's going to be factions that's going to be sad. And if you go to that faction, you think that all Americans are sad. But if you go to another part of the country, they out there breakdancing. Happy as I don't know what. Now, you know there's always two sides to a story, but y'all so ignorant. They're celebrating in Iran. Shut up. We're fighting the people every day. They're dropping bombs on everybody. They don't seem too fucking happy. 6 Americans have been fucking killed. They don't seem too fucking happy about the shit. Yeah, man, before this dude was in power, he said that we should bomb Iranian culture sites and rewrite the rules of war. He even talked about the Temple Mount and religious war language. This guy's disgusting, man. The things he's talking about to become, for him to be in power, for the Jews and their story of Zionists, to make sure that they take over the lands that's supposed to be given to them because God gave it to them. These are the evils of religion that I just can never get with. We're going off a book that somebody wrote thousands of years ago. We have no idea. Yep. But some God told them that the Jews are supposed to have this land so they can kill everybody there because it's supposed to be theirs. Because, oh, God said so. The fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. What if the Native Americans, well, God said that Native Americans are supposed to have America. Are we going to get up and fucking leave? No. It's fucking crazy, dude. I can't believe this shit, man. That's why I don't deal with religion. We straight up there, all of them, the Muslims, the Jews, the Christians, are all ass. I will never understand why the Christians are in the corner for the Jews. The Jews don't even believe in y'all religion. They don't even think that shit is real. They don't think Jesus is real, none of that shit. But for some reason, we're sending our kids to die for them. Weird stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
Weird stuff. They don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe Jesus was a Messiah. Jews don't believe that. They don't believe people can be gods. That's the whole basis of Christianity. We'll never understand why people are willing to die for this stuff, man. It's just gross. It's disgusting. They're willing to kill every Palestinian because some book somewhere said that they are the chosen people.
Yep.
And they really believe it. We're the chosen people. Chosen for what? Fuck out of here, man. Chosen for, get the fuck out of here. It is the dumbest shit, man. Religion and government should not mix, ever.
Ever.
I disagree with the Muslims, the Jews, anybody who fucking make decisions for their fucking government based on a book that was written thousands of years ago. I don't want shit to do with you because that shit's insane. The people are talking about war like it's the Crusades. Like this is the fucking Crusades or some shit. That's the time that these people want to live in. That's when things get extra dangerous. They said he was anointed, Trump was anointed by God to take out Iran. What is going on? A religious ideology should not be the basis of war.
It shouldn't.
And now we're seeing that mind state inside the White House. These people are warped. And next, we're going to run this one. Hegseth bragging about sinking a ship in Iran and killing, 82 people.
This is what the fake news misses. We've taken control of Iran's airspace and waterways without boots on the ground. We control their fate. But when a few drones get through or tragic things happen, it's front page news. I get it. The press only wants to make the president look bad, but try for once to report the reality. The terms of this war will be set by us at every step.
Oh, that wasn't what. It's a different one. There you go.
Last night, we sunk their prize ship, the Soleimani. Looks like POTUS got him twice. Their Navy, not a factor. Pick your adjective, it is no more. In fact, yesterday, in the Indian Ocean, and we'll play it on the screen there, an American submarine sunk an Iranian warship that thought it was safe in international waters. Instead, it was sunk by a torpedo. Quiet death. The first sinking of an enemy ship by a torpedo since World War II. Like in that war, back when we were still the War Department, we are fighting to win. Also, yesterday, the leader of the unit who attempted to assassinate President Trump has been hunted down and killed. Iran tried to kill President Trump, and President Trump got the last laugh. Now, this is not a mission accomplished situation. This is simply a reality check. The combination of U.S. and Israeli intelligence and combat power will control Iran, and will control it soon. Sure, Iran will still be able to shoot some missiles and still be able to launch one-way attack drones at civilian targets, and their proxies will attempt to attack our embassies, bases, and soft targets. They are terrorists, after all, and they need to target civilians because they can't fight toe-to-toe. But we will find them, and we will kill them.
Wow.
This is what the fake news misses. We've taken control of Iran's airspace and waterways without boots on the ground. We control their fate. But when a few drones get through or tragic things happen, it's front page news. I get it. The press only wants to make the president look bad, but try for once to report the reality. The terms of this war will be set by us at every step. As I said Monday, the mission is laser focused. Obliterate Iran's missiles and drones and facilities that produce them, annihilate its navy and critical security infrastructure, and sever their pathway to nuclear weapons. Iran will never possess a nuclear bomb, not on our watch, not.
This dude need to take his bitch ass out there and fight. He talks like he's such a tough guy. He's so fucking annoying. Next, let's pay Levitt on Hexef.
The president is going to attend the dignified transfer for these families. Given what Secretary Hegseth said this morning, is it the position of this administration that the press should not prominently cover the deaths of U.S. service members?
No, it's the position of this administration that the press in this room and the press across the country should accurately report on the success of Operation Epic Fury and the damage it is doing to the rogue Iranian regime that has threatened the lives of every single American in this room. If the Iranian regime had their choice, they would kill every single person in this room. And so we can all be very grateful that we have an administration and that we have men and women in our armed forces who are willing to sacrifice their own lives for the rest of us in this room and for every American across the country and for every troop that is based in the Middle East. That's what these...
Secretary Hegseth was complaining that it was front page news about these 6 service members who were killed.
That's not what the secretary said, Caitlin, and that's not what the secretary meant, and you know it. You know you are being disingenuous. There is not... We've never had a Secretary of Defense who cares more.
Drones get through or tragic things happen. It's front page news. I get it. The press only wants to make the president look bad.
Yeah,
as you know, we cover the deaths of U.S. service members under every president.
The press does only want to make the president look bad. That's a fact. Especially you. No, listen to me. Especially you and especially CNN. And the Secretary of Defense cares deeply about our war fighters and our men and women in uniform. He travels all across this country to meet with them, to connect with them, and your network has hardly ever probably reported on that. You also had the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Chairman Kane, who's a brave patriot, standing alongside the secretary at the Pentagon this morning, again expressing his condolences to these families. And I just told you that the President of the United States will be attending their dignified transfer. So please,
That's not making the president look bad. That's showcasing that.
We expect you to cover that as you should. We expect you to cover that as you should, Caitlin. But you and your network know that you take every single thing this administration says and tries to use it to make the president look bad. That is an objectable fact.
I don't think covering troop deaths is trying to make
If you're trying to argue right now that CNN's overwhelming coverage is not negative of President Donald Trump, I think the American people would tend to agree, and your ratings would tend to disagree.
This bitch here, dude. She thinks she's doing something too.
Yeah, she does.
I mean, dude, you are disgusting. She is a disgusting person, and she's going to stay a disgusting person. And as long as she keep lying and making up bull, she will pay. She's going to pay, man. No, it's not making Trump look bad that we fucking report on a goddamn deaths in a war.
Right.
We're not supposed to report on the deaths. That is what Hegseth said. And we're not supposed to report on those things. You're trying to make Trump look bad. No, this is what happened. But this is what they're on. This is what the Trump administration is about. Just disgusting stuff, man. These kids are killed. And we're just like, oh, we're not supposed to say anything about those people. You're trying to make Trump look bad that you put those people on the news. Everything is about this dude. You can't even give a moment of silence to the people that have died and been killed fighting for this fucking country. You're gonna sit there and tell them, oh, you can't cover that. Like, this administration is just gross. They're just gross, incompetent people. They're gross. They're disgusting. I've never seen anything like it. Never, man. I wanted to play this video of them, making this propaganda post, but I don't think don't play it. It's a video that's showing video games and movies all tied in with bombing footage. Propaganda. All propaganda, all disgusting stuff, man. All right, bro. This shit that they're pushing for us is not leadership, man. It's propaganda. And when the government starts acting like war is content, you should start asking who benefits. Because while we're distracted with war, let's look what's happening here at home. Now, we're going to run a clip of Jasmine Crockett. I know a lot of you guys are celebrating that she lost her Senate run, but I thought that this is relevant for her talking about how people are blaming everything on immigrants today. Go ahead and run that clip.
But here's the truth. Immigrants are not responsible for a billionaire CEO refusing to increase your wage. The corporation you work for isn't replacing your job with artificial intelligence because of Haitian refugees. Your landlord isn't increasing your rent because someone who's fleeing gang violence in Central America moved into your community. A Palestinian kid who was afforded a scholarship to study at an American university isn't responsible for your child's tuition increasing. Latino farm workers aren't responsible for prices of your groceries increasing. Let's be clear, blaming migrants and deporting migrants and ending TPS won't improve the lives of most Americans. As you can see, we're in the middle of the largest, most inhumane deportation program in American history. And guess what? Housing is still unaffordable. Healthcare is still too expensive. Groceries are still too expensive. Wages aren't keeping up with inflation. Jobs are still being outsourced. So maybe it's not the immigrants. Maybe it's the failed Republican policy.
The rent is too damn high. The people I'm here to represent can't afford to pay the rent. Cause rent is too damn high.
That's real.
The rent is too damn high.
Everything's so expensive, and we blamed immigrants for everything. I mean, the immigrants are to blame for every problem that we have in America. Oh, they drove up the rent. They're on aid. They're taking all the welfare. Like, bye, father, son. You didn't add anything constructive to the conversation. You just had a whole bunch of bullshit, and I ignored you the whole time. But peace. Nothing you said was constructive. Just bullshit. But have a good day. I'm still going to ignore your dumb ass. Only thing I liked that you said was bye. Peace. Adios. Have a good day. Hopefully your racism don't get you fucked up today. But Jasmine Crockett, she says the real problem isn't immigrants, and we all know that. It's policies. We all know that. Now, another problem that's been coming up, man, is voter suppression. Now, a lot of people have, from the Trump administration, has been talking about bringing troops to the polls, which is illegal, but they're talking about doing it. They're talking about stopping mail-in ballots. They're talking about doing everything they can to suppress the vote. So Obama wanted to speak up on this. So let's go ahead and play Mr. Obama and how he feels about what's going on with voter suppression today.
Free and fair elections are the cornerstone of our democracy, but right now they are under threat. Over the past year, several Republican-controlled states have taken the unprecedented step of redrawing their congressional maps in the middle of the decade. And they've done it for a simple reason: to give themselves an unfair advantage in the midterms this fall. In April, Virginians can respond by making sure your voting power is not diminished by what Republicans are doing in other states. This amendment gives you the power to level the playing field in the midterms this fall. And voters will have the final say over what the maps look like. This is the responsible thing to do. It's also a temporary measure. After the 2030 census, Virginia will go back to a system that lets a bipartisan redistricting commission redraw the maps. We can't afford 2 more years of unchecked power and zero accountability in Washington. Help us chart a better path forward, Virginia. Early voting begins on March 6th. Election Day is April 21st. Vote yes, Virginia. To get involved, go to virginiansforfairelections.com.
Now, even Barack Obama is warning that free and fair elections are being under threat by this administration. And Trump and them are pushing more and more and more policies to try to stop voting. The redistricting they did in Texas. Then they try to stop California from doing redistricting. Like I said, they're trying to put policemen at the polls, trying to intimidate people and not let people vote. And we're seeing voter suppression complaints in Texas right now from the other day. Let's go ahead and roll that voter suppression clip right here, man. We don't know how true these are, but this is people experienced the other day when they went to vote.
Where I live is far away, and I just wanted to vote here and get back to work, and she told me she wouldn't let me. I was hoping she'll just let me go in. She said I'm at the wrong place. I can't vote here.
I've always voted here, say, 8 years in a row now. I've come to this location, but now they're telling me that I need to go to another location to vote.
Did they explain why?
No, they didn't explain why. And then when I went online yesterday, because I knew they were going to try to do this, I went yesterday online to register and everything like that to find out where my poll is, and it got me nowhere.
I just witnessed real-life voter suppression in Dallas County today at Harry Stone Recreation Center. I want to make it very clear that Harry Stone Recreation Center nor staff had anything to do with what I witnessed. This is solely an issue with the Board of Elections, I believe. I was told by the poll workers that they were informed when they showed up to work the poll this morning that the location that they were at had been changed on the same day from being a location where both Democratic and Republican primaries could be voted on to a Republican-only location. The voters nor the workers were notified of this change prior to arriving at the recreation center to vote. The poll worker let me know that about 50% of the people who came to vote were not Republican only and had to be turned away. And so the chances of those Democratic primary voters going back to find another location to vote are slim to none. This whole thing is so shady.
Made the voting polling stations Republican voting only.
Right. I don't even know if that's legal. Polling station should be the polling station that's in your area that you're registered to. You can't change that and say, oh, this is only for Republicans. That's ridiculous. Don't know what's going on, but a lot of people were complaining about what was going on with voters.
And they had it clear as day posted on the door. Republican location only.
Mm-hmm. Clear as day. And that's why we wanted to play this. This is what's going on, man. It's the Trump administration is trying to pull the powers from each state. Yeah, it's a local problem because that's how local people do the votes. Local administration, local districts run the voting. Trump wants to take it out of their hands, do whatever he can to cheat. Cheat. Now, these same people, as they cheat, they'll sit around and say, oh, it's so much voter fraud. But then we say, hey, it's some voter suppression going on. No, you're lying. Shut up. Huh. That's crazy. So there's cheating in voting because y'all say we don't want IDs, even though you have to have an ID to register. You have to have an ID to register, you stupid fucks. But they keep saying, oh, Democrats don't want IDs. You got to have an ID. How are they going to know who you are when you come up to vote? How are they going to know if you even fucking registered for the poll? The Democrats do not want people to have to show their birth certificate because you already have to show that to get the ID. So why do I have to prove I'm a citizen again? That is all that we are talking about. Showing your ID is normal. How are you going to prove who you are if you don't fucking show any ID?
Right.
It's pretty fucking simple. How do we know you are not registered in this damn location if you don't show an ID? We don't even know who the fuck you are. You could just say making up any goddamn name. So you have to show your voter ID or your fucking ID to vote, to register. What they want to do is take out mail-in voting. They want to end that. Oh, it's cheating. Ridiculous. 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 Trump wants to make the federal government take it over more. Ridiculous. Cheating. More fucking cheating. But to end it out, man, let's play this video of Trump crypto corruption and all the stealing that he's doing. And this is Fox News pointing this out. How Trump is stealing while he's in the White House.
Family. The Trump family just launched a brand new cryptocurrency. It is called WLFI. Lauren, how much has the Trump family itself accumulated of this? How much?
Yeah, for World Liberty Financial, and the Wall Street Journal says it's $5 billion. So this coin, WLFI, is currently the 33rd largest coin by market cap, about $6 billion worth, according to CoinGecko. The family holds about a quarter of the tokens out there. They can't sell them, but now that the token has launched on the public markets, we have a valuation for it. The Wall Street Journal says this token is the family's most valuable asset, exceeding their property portfolio.
But they can't sell those tokens. They can't do it.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. Correct. Not yet.
My goodness me. $5 billion?
Eye-popping numbers. He is the crypto president, the first one ever. A lot of crypto-friendly legislation, regulation.
What it amounts to is it's crypto-friendly legislation coming from the President of the United States, who is in turn cashing in on the crypto phase, personally, his family.
Conflict of interest. They say no, but that's how it appears.
That's true.
They care about fraud so much.
Why they cashing in on the fraud?
This dude's stealing right under the name. Oh, he doesn't take a paycheck. Yeah, but he is supposed to be not making money as a president. But his family is cashing in. As all these countries put money into crypto, is nothing but a money laundering scam. That's all crypto is. A way for these countries to send dark money via crypto that can't be traced. That's all this is. That's why they like crypto. Crypto is a scam. And these people love it because they can hide money from the government and not pay taxes. And that's what's going on. That's the news for the week, man. We appreciate you guys sticking around and talking with us and listening to us yap it up for a couple hours. We appreciate everyone that commented. We appreciate Ryan, Richard Perry for sending us some dollars. We appreciate everybody. Please take a couple seconds to like and share, subscribe.
Become a member.
This is all about keeping the people who are in power, making sure they are in check. Making sure that the middle class is supposed to exist. We fight for the middle class. We fight to be able to have our own. That's what this is about, man. This is about keeping us what we have and what we want as Americans. Everybody wants to sit around and make things about race and all these other things, but it's about money. It's about jobs. It's about who's going to survive. Who's going to have a chance to take care of their family. And that's all we want, is a chance for we can be able to feed our kids, make sure our family is good. That's all what Americans want. Every one of us. And you can argue about how those things are done. All we want is a fair chance. Fair chance. An opportunity. And those that are fighting against that opportunity, and those who doesn't like America, like Father Son 5907, it's just a piece of shit person. He can't do anything but say just garbage things. People who are just, they hate their lives. That's all they can do is shit on others. But we live, and this Habari is about us, America, fighting against these rich, greedy bastards taking all of our fucking money. Most of us are going to be middle class our whole life. Most of us will never be rich. You can keep that dream in your mind that you may be able to be the richest person in the world, but most of us won't be there. And I fight for those people. I speak for those people. Just because you're not rich doesn't mean that you can't have some of the things it takes to be an American. You can have a home, you can have a car, but these things are becoming out of reach. I appreciate you guys, man. Have a good rest of your Saturday, and we'll see you here on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks for watching another episode of Habari Live. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and get updates on news, the podcast, and more. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And don't forget to visit www.habarientertainment.com. See you next week. Peace.